Hello again YouTube, and welcome back to Just Get a Tesla. It is March and it's been snowing again, and it's a really good thing that I've got to go all the way down to Liverpool today, so let's get clearing the car. I'm about to go. I've just unplugged the car and I can't actually get the charge flap to close properly. See that? That's not entirely flush, is it? Why is it not flush? Yeah, it'll do. Okay, so today's trip is to go down from Aberdeenshire up here down to Liverpool here. It is suggesting I'm going to get there at 6 o'clock and it's 10:23. That probably feels about right, with a charge stop at Edinburgh, which makes sense, and then at Tebay. The infamous Tebay Supercharger, which I suspect will be fine today by then, to then get down into Liverpool with around 20%. There is supposed to be EV charging in this car park, so we're gonna take the gamble effectively that works. I have my cable in the front, and if I can plug in, great. If I can't plug in, then what we will end up doing is taking the car out and going to, going to, there is a supercharger around here. So out from Liverpool, it's about 15 miles. I can limp 15 miles on minimal battery. Let's be brutally honest about it. Or find somewhere else in the city centre. It'll be an adventure, which is of course what Just Get a Tesla is supposed to be all about on these road trips. But first, I have got to get up my driveway, which is splattered in snow, but it's fresh snow, and from the previous test that I've done, it's ice that causes me the problem rather than snow. Just as a reminder, I am stupid and still on OEM summer tyres. So let's get on with it. I have cleared the snow off the car. At least I've cleared most of the snow off the car, or as much as I possibly can, so we'll see how we get on. We're also on 95% state of charge, having charged up initially to 80, and then when it looked like this trip was actually going to happen, I've then topped it up more and put it on to 90. So this could be the fun bit. I have got snow socks in the back if I need to, but let's see whether we do or we don't. Minor slip, but nothing dramatic. It's a doddle. That just walked itself out. The horrible grinding noise as it's compressing the snow underneath, but nothing dramatic. I then of course need to do a shunty, which means I've got to back up uphill on the snow, and it's done that fine, and then stick some more lock on, ease the car down, and then down the side lane. Good, we're on our way. It's definitely slushy in places. This might be the worst of it though, looking at the traffic map. Again, because I have got premium connectivity, it shows me with colours how much traffic is slowing down. We've been doing 30 to 40 along here all the way. So it's going to blue here because we're about to head into a 30 limit, so it won't show us slowing down, which makes sense. Also, the foam mount on the window has absolutely definitely died, so we won't be getting any more reverse angle goodness as we were just doing. Just coming on to the A90 at the Tolleburness. So we have got quite a lot of glare because above me it is clear skies. There's a huge amount of low cloud and mist and things over there. And I keep getting wafts of snow coming in. The amount of spray coming off these trucks, by the way, as you can see, is absolutely ginormous, and auto wipers doesn't seem to be responding to them. Like now, it's not doing anything, despite the fact I can't really see. So I'm pressing the button on the end of the stalk to prong it on. Some of the software updates have improved auto wipers, but it's still bobbins, and it is one of these things where I'm just waiting for them to fix it. This is nice. I am not using autopilot or cruise or any of those other things. This is definitely a let's drive it manually, and it's fundamentally because I I'm going to keep speeding up and slowing down. You can see they are still ploughing lane 2. And it's not even that clear there. So what's it going to be like in front of Mr. Plough here? It's not actually that bad. I think he's just trying to keep the edge off it. But you can see the conditions. I mean, it's more snow dropping, so they are having to work really hard to keep on top of it this morning. It is 11:07. It's still -1 with a wind chill of worse. And there's a lot more standing water on the road, so my efficiency has now dropped to 296 watt hours per mile, which to be honest is kind of where I'd expect that it'd be, you know, somewhere around 300, maybe 320. So around 3 miles per kilowatt hour. It's going to be somewhere around that, I think, today. So it's saying that I'm going to get to the Edinburgh Supercharger on 20%, having left home with 95%. Yeah, it's about that. And we are going to get there in our own sweet time. There's no particular hurry today, and even if there was a particular hurry, forget it. Get there when we get there and enjoy the, well, what do you call this? It's an absolute whiteout, isn't it? Been going for about an hour and a half, and as you can see, all of the snow has gone. As predicted, the car is absolutely filthy. Looking at any of the windows, we are absolutely plastered in salt, but never mind. Efficiency, we're on 324 watt hours per mile, which is again about 3 miles per kilowatt hour, which with where it's been is probably to be expected. I'm doing my usual bimbling along at 65 because I find this to be more relaxed and frankly not particularly slower than trying to go at 70 all the time anyway. I'm going to get down to the Edinburgh Supercharger for 1:20, something like that, and then onwards to Liverpool. So still saying a stop at Edinburgh, stop at Tebay, that'll be fun, and then arriving into Liverpool at, just before 6. It's turned into an absolutely beautiful day. I am west of Dundee, 40 minutes now from the Supercharger at Edinburgh Newbridge. I did have a quick stop because I needed a wee-wee, and it is transformed from the -1 with a wind chill of minus horrible and snow everywhere to, well, look at this. This is lovely. It hopefully will improve my efficiency, which is still quite high. I am on 332 watt hours per mile, so 3 miles per kilowatt hour. It's not great, but we're still going to arrive with a good 19-20% in the battery when we get to the Supercharger for a top off before we start heading south again in towards England. This is quite a good test actually for my GoPro mount and how much you can actually see out the window, because there is a folly up on top of the craggy cliff over there, which I can certainly see out the windscreen. I wonder whether you could see it from further back before I started talking to it. But this is a slight wander around past the truck who was wandering out of lane. This is a fabulous bit of road. It's probably not the best designed in terms of, you know, high speeds or any of the rest of it, but just this Tay Valley that we're now in and about to cross the Tay. Every single time I get to this in either direction, I just think, oh wow. We have just plugged in at Edinburgh and we've gone straight to, well, 190 it's tracking at. It went to 210 briefly and then dropped off a little bit. That is exactly what we should have been getting on my annoying charge video at Ferrybridge. If you haven't seen that one, go and watch it, because that I came in with actually less power. I came here with 20% and I arrived there on 6, and a similar V3 supercharger setup like this, and I should have been getting about 240 to start off with, and I got 65. So this is absolutely chomping along. 30 minutes remaining charge. Again, Tesla will tell you how long you need to do. There are toilets and free drinks and biscuits in the service centre. But first, I'm going to clean the windows because this car is absolutely filthy. I've got to show you this because I've just gone Edinburgh Airport. I have just gone into the front and look. That is an Aberdeenshire Icicle. Dear, oh dear, oh dear. That just shows you how cold it's been on the way down, because we've been driving and we haven't actually melted. I mean, look, any of this. Crazy. On my way out of the service centre with some bickies, including some Biscoffs. I mean, who doesn't like Biscoffs? Interesting looking at vehicles in the service centre, and you can see a few of them have had a wee bit of a prang, and I do wonder how long it takes to get a replacement headlight unit. Back in the car, and we're already up to 68% and still charging at 74 kilowatt. So we are parked here in Edinburgh. Now why is it can't navigate me to here. Look, I'm already here. Here you go. Here's what I was looking for. Look at this. So this is where I'm at now. I am being charged 40 pence a kilowatt hour. 40 to charge at 250 max, and I started on 210. It's an absolute bargain. It really is the Tesla advantage of very, very fast, plentiful charging and cheap charging. And if I go and have a look at any of these others, I could go and have a look at Fastned, you know, 70p a kilowatt hour, Instavolt, 70p, 75p a kilowatt hour. I'm paying 40p. It's an absolute bargain. And then when we go down further on, I know we need to have a look at Tebay. Even if I arrive in the peak there, 49p a kilowatt hour. It's still a bargain. I do know that Penrith is quite busy, but at the moment, if we go back onto the map and we have a look, I mean, it does actually show you how you're actually getting on. And with the exception of my friends there at Gateshead, so Washington, the Washington Supercharger that I did on my previous road trip video, that is queuing, and I did see that one where it was full. Other than that, all of them at the moment have got availability. Even Gretna, and Gretna's only got 4 bays. Gretna has got a 3 bay, and at the moment, I believe that at Gretna, so Gretna's actually got 3 bays because one of them is broken. So it's got 3 bays and one of them is available. So this is the availability map for superchargers. And apart from Washington, every single one of them has got availability. So this stuff that's put out in the media, and they're still talking about it, how you don't want to get a Tesla, you don't want to get an EV, charging's a nightmare and all the rest of it. Just get a Tesla. Look at it. It's plentiful and it's very, very cheap. We're actually on a bit of a diversion, so it's taking me off the B road towards Bigger to basically cut down some back lanes. It looks like there's some bad traffic on the main road between Edinburgh and Abington, so we're cutting our way this way, and I do like this kind of diversion providing that they work, and this road is reasonably wide, so why not? By the way, it's not a 20 miles an hour limit. We aren't past a school back in the previous village with a switchable 20 where at pick up and drop off times. We're outside of that and we've gone past it, but it hasn't seen any other sign, so it still thinks it's a 20 miles an hour limit. Wrong, wrong, wrong. Birds. All the birds. It's a bit tight in a few places. I do like this kind of road though that just follows the contours of the land, and then obviously we've got a bridge here over the river. Is that the River Clyde? Could be, because I know we're in the Clyde Valley. Have to have a look as we get close to it. Meanwhile, it is really a very pretty afternoon, and I have been taking down quite an interesting little backroads diversion, and I'm enjoying this a lot. So Bigger is where we were originally going. Who's got the right of way? I think they have, so we'll stop. Gates across when the bridge is shut. Good. So how are you supposed to get to the other side if they've got the gates across the bridge? Oh wow, this is very single track. Look at the gradient on this bridge. Okay, up. Let's not ground over the top. Oh wow. Okay. Yeah, I'm just rolling over that. Wow. Okay. I really have got no idea quite where I am, but that's okay. We're going in roughly the right direction, I do know that. But what a great little diversion. I mean, look at this. This would be I think quite a nice place to live, although, you know, it's not dramatically remote. It might look it, but you have got access to some of the bigger towns and so on. But Thankerton, what a great name, Thankerton. Hello, where do you live? I live in Thankerton. Oh, thanks very much. Coming up to the motorway now, and you know what? I'm almost sad to be joining it. I was really enjoying that countryside waft. It's the Clyde Valley tourist route, as it puts it. Yeah, it's quite pretty. In through southern Scotland, you don't have to follow the motorway all the way. Just get on with it. It's really good. We are going through Gretna. Worth a quick check on how we're doing on energy use and so on. So since we last charged in Edinburgh, we're down to 294 watt hours per mile. We had a climb and then we've gone back down again, so we're on 318 so far for the whole 253 miles that we've done. We are actually getting along quite nicely now. There shouldn't really be any further issues, he says. Touching our laminate wood as we cross the border back into England. I'm not in a particular hurry, so I can enjoy the scenery, and I love this bit of the motorway where it basically splits in half and you can't actually see the northbound carriageway at all. It's somewhere over there, and they've basically done that because we are relentlessly climbing up to the top of Shap Fell, where the summit is actually not far off up here, and they've just split the carriageways to reduce the amount of land take for the farmers, because there's a huge amount of sheep farming and things like that goes on up here, and it's their land. Let's just split it out. I get the impression some of the land might have been quite boggy as well, and this just helps a little bit with regards to the weight of the road pressing down on top of it. But yeah, it's been up and up. If we put the energy use chart on, actually, just to have a look, consumption for the last 5 miles, yeah, 448, and that's despite having had some roadworks, and that's all climbing basically. We've now gone over the top of Shap Fell and we are on our way down towards the supercharger at Tebay. It's glorious. Cumbria is as gorgeous as Scotland, obviously. You know, look, especially on a lovely day like this. But the point here is that the map also shows you how many stalls are available. So there's 8 stalls, and it's telling me that 5 of them are available. So the whole point about the supercharger network, and this really is the Tesla advantage that you just don't get with other networks, the car knows how busy the chargers are. The car knows. So before you even get there, it knows whether you're going to be able to plug in and stop or not. And that really is something that you're just not going to get if you're in a Polestar 2 and you're trying to roll up to an Ionity or a Fast Ned or something like that. Apart from the fact that, of course, you're also going to pay a huge amount more money to do so. So this is going to cost, at peak times, 49p a kilowatt hour. A lot of those guys are at 69p to 75p a kilowatt hour. Shell Recharge, 85p a kilowatt hour. It's completely potty. So we're going to roll up and we'll have a quick top up on the charger, and then we'll carry on towards Liverpool. But this is an absolutely beautiful place, and they've managed to get it where building the motorway hasn't completely crippled the landscape, which I think is important as well, because they could have absolutely cut a horrible scar through here, and they haven't. We'll come off autopilot and we will manually drive in. Of course, it won't take this anyway, even if I wanted to. And we'll see how busy it is. But yeah, I mean, it's saying 5 are available. These are, what, V2s? yeah, 150s. So they're V2, so we're looking for non-matched pairs, okay? We're looking for, basically, can we find the pair that hasn't got somebody else on it? Because if 5 are available, that tells me there's already 3 people charging up. Now that's absolutely fine. It's over here at the back, if I remember correctly. Yeah, over there. So there should be 3. Yeah, there are 3 cars parked up, and we are looking for the non-occupied pair. So not these first 2. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, I want to go on basically one of those ones there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. Fine. And again, the reason for looking for a non-matched stall is these are V2. Hang on, let's just ease that forward and reposition it. I got caught slightly in the sun. These are V2 chargers, which means that they are tied together. So maximum on these ones of 150 kilowatts, but it's split across the 2. Okay, this is going to be quite hard to see just because of the sun. Can I shade it enough? But you can see there it's gone to 141, which, having arrived on 24%, is about as fast as you're going to get on a Type 2 charger. And then when I shut the door, it changes screen and goes on to the general supercharging one. So I don't actually need to be here for very long. I'm going to put a bit more in than that because I'm not entirely clear about what the charging situation is going to be like in Liverpool when I get there. So I'm going to stick a wee bit more in than that because it's just to give me some coverage. See the farm shop behind me? And the nice restaurant? That's why this one is really busy. There's always a whole pile of people trying to get into here, and I think that is why the supercharger is often quite busy as well. But I'm just looking now as I've come out, and you're going to have to forgive me squinting, guys, because that sun, it's turned into a lovely day. Anyway, this is Tebay, and like I said, the farm shop and the restaurant, I think, is why it's a more popular stop than others. Yeah, there's still only 4 Teslas charging, so I should still be getting my enhanced charging rate. Not the fastest you're ever going to get, but certainly quicker than I would have got realistically if I'd gone onto, well, somebody else's network, which I really do tend not to do as much as I can, just because it's a bit of a pain in the arse, to be honest, having to faff around with apps and accounts and payment cards and all that gubbins. Why bother when I can simply plug my Tesla into a Tesla Supercharger and I get mega rates of charge at a cheap cost, and I don't have to do anything else. Okay, I've gone into the shade just so that I can actually see what I'm doing a little better, and I'm going to be curious as to where's this guy going. That's me there. Is he going to split my charge? Where's this guy gone? Oh, he's gone up to the top. Well, that's a shame for someone else. But it's good news for me because it means that my stall isn't going to get split. So again, if you've got a V2 charger, which is these things, basically these are the ones that have got 2 cables on each stall. So it's got a CCS for Model 3 and Model Y, and it's got the old Tesla connector Type 2 for Model S and Model X. But these ones go to 150 kilowatts max, but that is split between each pair. So they'll have A and B on them, and basically if somebody plugs in next to you, you get a slower charge. That isn't the case on the V3 ones that have only got the single CCS connector. Those ones are absolutely simple. They should have 250 kilowatts per stall. Forgive the weird camera angle, this is literally just so that I can try and get it so that I'm masking the sun. We are still getting, what, 40, we're on 49%, we're getting 117 kilowatts. Now, that's already telling me that I could arrive into Liverpool on, so what's that saying there? 12%? 13%. So I'm going to be parked overnight in a multi-storey arena car park, which supposedly has got EV chargers on every level. The problem is they're not on ZapMap, and that means that I'm not entirely of the belief that these things are available and working. So what I'm going to do is I am going to stick more power in here than I need to get to Liverpool. we've just finished the drop down off Shapfell, and that was just showing 113 watt hours per mile. This is my 5 mile average, and it was down at 113. It's now on 128. I mean, 128 basically is 8 miles per kilowatt hour. That shows you just how much of a dive it is down the hill. And you can see here, you know, this is on 15 miles. You can just look at the peaks. There's little bits of troughs, but it's a long downhill slope on all of this section. That's fab for efficiency. Obviously, if you're going to go downhill like that, you actually have to have climbed uphill in the first place, but I'd already done that. So, you know, I'm on 272 now for the 30 mile, and if I go on to trips, since we charged up at Tebay, we've done 258 in total, because it was a bit of uphill, and we are at what, 320 now for the whole trip, which again, that is coming down across 316 miles. So all of this downhill running is definitely going to help. We're off the motorway in northern suburbs of Liverpool, as you can probably tell, heading towards the docks, as I'm sure you can see in front of you. Efficiency is once again a bit on the stupid side. 207 watt hours per mile on the 5 mile average, which is just silly. It's what happens when basically you're just going kind of downhill, as again we are. Obviously we're heading towards the sea. What really isn't helping me is, and you can see here, we appear to have lost connectivity. So it is telling me that I've got a 3G signal, but it's not actually picking up any map data at all. So I know where I am now, and I kind of know where I'm going. I mean, it's down here and on the right, but it would be helpful if this was actually picking up a signal. That really would help. We'll just have to cope, I suppose. How did people cope before they had fancy cars with massive screens that showed them where they were going, eh? How did they do that? The problem when you've got something like this is just trying to make sure you're in the right lane. So I know I want to go down the Strand, so I'm in the correct lane here, because that's going to wrap around onto the right hand side. But then after that, we are into, well, here be dragons. That isn't the car. That is the SIM card which the car is using, basically not picking up any data. Now I do get that occasionally with my phone, where it says it has a signal, but it's being overloaded by everything else and it picks up basically nothing. So I'm going to keep working my way up. It does say on their website that it has got EV charging on every single level. Well, okay, there's bags and bags and bags of space on this level, so let's drive around this level a little bit and see if we can see. Ah, yes, EV parking there. Right, okay, good. So I've gone past that. There's more down here. Right, okay, fine. So what we're going to do then is we are going to stick our car into this one here on the end. Rolex. Okay, let's have a look and see what this is going to look like when we get into it. It's a Rolex post, and it is EV Open Charge, and go to evcharge.online. Now I have actually had a look at that, and as you can see, there is a good number of posts, and that's just this level, and there's a whole load more down there. But having gone on their website, they want, and this is the most bonkers thing I think I've ever seen, they charge you per hour, not per kilowatt, per hour. So £2.40 per hour to charge the car. Let's just have a look back again on this whole trip so we can try and summarize it. So I have done today 387 miles. It's another just get a Tesla road trip, guys. Come on, you love some of this. I burned 120 kilowatt hours of power, so an average of 311 watt hours per mile. So I've got what, 3.2 miles per kilowatt hour, somewhere around that. Which is pretty decent. So what I actually decided to do in the end was, screw it, let's plug it in. So green means it's charging, whereas Mr. Eyepiece here, blue means he's not charging. Never mind. Anyway, the point is, I've actually got that one started, and it's going to deliver 7 kilowatts. So I have told it to charge for no more than 6 hours. And the reason I've done that is 6 times 7 is 42 kilowatt hours. I arrived on 42% battery on a 78 kilowatt hour battery pack. So what I've done basically is I have stuck it on here to stick pretty much as it'll go in. So it's going to hit 6 hours 15 before it hits the charge limit, and I've put in for 6 hours. So that means it's going to get to, I don't know, 93%, something like that when it stops. And then obviously it's going to run Sentry mode, and that might burn a little bit of power possibly. The point is it will be a nice full battery. So there it is, but it's a weird tariff. I mean, £2.40 an hour. So it's £2.40 an hour plus 50p connection, plus they hold another £5 on your card as well, which they'll get back. I think that's there in case you end up taking more power than they asked for or something. Well, I don't know how you actually do that, because I assume if you set it to 6 hours it'll cut itself off, but whatever, it's going now. So don't forget to like and subscribe, hit the bell icon. I will be back in the car tomorrow to drive home, which is mostly going to be increasingly in the dark, and I believe more snow when we go up to Aberdeenshire for a latest arrival back home. So that could be a lot of fun. So I'll see you then.